everybody. My name is Craig Scott. I'm the CEO and founder of Fuuz, the manufacturing platform, and I am here today with one of my teammates, Steve Modrall, who runs our sales team, and we are going to be talking about ERP modernization. And what does that mean, and how does the Fuuz platform play a role in the modernization of your ERP system? So, Steve, from your perspective, what are you hearing from clients about this ERP modernization, and how is this important to them? What does it do for the business?
You know, I think if we peel back the onion a little bit, and this goes back to when I actually was involved in selling ERP solutions, so many companies focus on the accounting side of the software and how it's working, and, you know, the CFO is basically running the selection process and overall approval of the systems that they're going to be choosing. But companies are going through that selection process, even when they, you know, before they're using an ERP, they don't spend enough time on really understanding where the money's made and lost in their company. And it's on the shop floor. These manufacturers, every day, their differentiator is the shop floor. And so much of the selection time was spent on the accounting processing and also on like some of the buying sides that they forget and don't realize actually the main focus should be on that shop floor. So now companies that we're hearing, even customers that we're talking to today and companies that are calling us, they're trying to understand how they can modernize their shop floor without having to rip out this investment they made within the last 10 years or so that runs fine on the front office, but on the shop floor, they don't have the visibility. And they've tried to patch that up like a quilt with point solutions and spreadsheets and all the manual processes they do today. They've tried to patch those up, and it's creating a disparate system that's not connected. And, you know, it's something that when we come in, it almost seems too good to be true in their eyes, because it's like, here we are as Fuuz. We've got this manufacturing platform that can replace all those systems on the shop floor, and not have to replace the front office, not have to replace the overall ERP system. So I think it's one of those things, and maybe you hear it from customers on the other side of the table here, not necessarily a sales side, but even some of the things that you see out in the industry.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the bar is set pretty low for us when we go into one of those types of opportunities, right? And ERP selections and procurement decisions are typically driven from the CFO's office.
Right.
And not from the COO's office.
Right.
And so, you know, ERP is, as you stated, right, it's financial, just general ledger.
Right.
There's not a lot of flash, not a lot of sizzle. It adds a lot of value to the business, but ultimately the money is made and lost on the shop floor, like you said. And, you know, having owned manufacturing companies in my past, when a prospective customer would come walk through my shop, GM, Ford, whoever, never ever did they say, "What ERP are you running?"
Right.
But they always were intrigued by what kind of technology I had to empower the shop floor. How was I going to enforce traceability? How was I going to make sure that the operators were trained on the machines?
Right.
How was I going to, you know, verify to them that the products I was shipping them were quality products? And how am I going to get them there on time? How am I scheduling the plant? None of those are answered by an ERP system.
Right. It used to make me laugh when it was like, you know, they would spend time on how many clicks to voucher an invoice, but yet they got $30 million in returns coming for that year and can't figure out what's happening quality-wise on the floor.
Yep, for sure. So it's funny because talking with some of our customers on, you know, some of the other podcasts that we're doing, we're hearing the exact same thing. A lot of these decisions being driven by the top executive leadership, usually from finance.
Sure.
And that's fine that they need better tools, but I think too often they're trying to find this one throat to choke solution. And so they're looking for an ERP system that has the magic bullet. You know, it's going to solve all the manufacturing needs. It's all going to be in one database. How wonderful and utopian this is going to be. And then they implement it, and all of a sudden operations is like, wait a minute, you know, I don't have the tools I need to do my job. And we're actually being forced to operate in such a way that it's just helping finance.
Right.
And they really are two different facets of the business. Finance and operations need to be separate. And this is what we talk about with some of our partners, you know, QAD, NetSuite, and all of that. And this is the value proposition that we bring as a manufacturing platform, is extending that financial package to the shop floor. But there's a there's a clear divide
Yeah.
in there because we're able to support M-bombs and we're able to
Right.
support scheduling and all these things. And then having our iPaaS layer allows us to translate all of that data we're collecting to something consumable by the ERP system rather than forcing your business to change the way it operates, right? And lose your strategic or competitive advantage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The irony of all this is actually the finance group would actually benefit even more with a Fuuz type application or us coming to the table because we can actually uncover the actuals for them in their manufacturing process. And most systems can't today, and most systems don't have that ability to do so.
Yep. And help them control FTQ,
Right.
Cost of quality, the cost of shipping,
Right.
Product to your customer and getting it returned, to your point, the cost of training and onboarding new shop floor staff,
Unused capacity on the machinery equipment.
unused capacity.
Absolutely.
Turnover on the manufacturing floor is significantly greater than turnover in the front office.
Completely.
Right? It happens, but a manufacturer might have 500 employees, 450 of those people work in the shop. But it seems like so many companies in the past 2 decades have been so, obsessed with the ERP,
Right.
That 1/10 of my business is actually going to benefit from the other 90% is out here struggling, trying to, rehone all of their processes and activities because they've been, hand fed this ERP they have to deal with now.
Right.
And everything's got to work because it's got to feed the financials. So, we feel very strongly here at Fuuz, obviously, that separating these things is super important. Giving operations what they need and finance what they need.
Right. Could you imagine going to this generation now that's coming into the workforce and trying to convince them to come work for your company in a manufacturing environment and using like a green screen or using like the
Mapex,
technology itself?
Mapex.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. But, this generation's used to swiping. They're used to iPhone's instantaneous response and feedback. And, most of these systems that are out there today that these manufacturers are running don't offer that. And
No.
I think that if the employers put in the right solutions that, are used to catering to that generation, they have a ability to actually attract a labor force that can help them.
Yeah, and better retention.
Right.
Like you said, the younger workforce that's up and coming, they're more interested in the technology.
Right.
So these companies that are able to offer that, it's like an added benefit.
Right.
Seriously, it's like medical benefits.
Yeah.
If you don't have technology on the shop floor that people are gonna, be empowered by, then you're just gonna fall to the wayside. So it's super, super important. Helps with the onboarding, the training. Look at all these companies that are in the news right now for all these quality related issues because they don't have an appropriate system in place to track it and control it. Super, super important. And
process and production control are just two keys that I think most companies are missing out on today, and they can't do it with the point solutions.
Right,
It's just
right.
they need an approach that's fully integrated.
Yeah, and ERP is all about financial control.
Right.
Right. So, and somebody said to me once, there's no beans to be counted if you don't make the beans.
It's a good valid point.
So, where should the focus really be?
Right.
Of course, we're biased, but I'm sure our ERP friends and partners would disagree with most of the points that we're making here today. But the point of it is that separating, finance from operations and IT from OT, there's a place for all of this, and the Fuuz platform is really it's the future solution.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that you have to get rid of that ERP system that you just put in 5 years ago because it's not meeting your needs. It just means that you can look at the Fuuz platform as a way to augment and extend what you already have and not have to replace and lose the investment that you've already made. So we can save a lot of people's careers, because we don't have to look back and say we made a bad decision. We can just look back and say we made the best decision we could make at the time. And now Fuuz is here to solve these other gaps for us.
Right. Not only that, it provides them flexibility, the flexibility to do some mergers and acquisitions or divest of plants if it doesn't make sense to hold on to those. And bringing on new plants, maybe they've got systems in place today, but this allows them to continue that standardization of what works best for their manufacturing practices and push those to their other companies that they're either acquiring or pulling in.
Yeah, being cloud native allows us to quickly deploy
Spin it up and
to new sites, copy and paste, right?
Right.
Move things around. So you want to standardize processes across multiple facilities. We allow you to do that, or not.
Right.
Depends.
Depends on what processes they run and what makes them unique.
Right. And ultimately just, empowering the shop floor to do what it needs to do to be competitive, to be on time and produce quality products, and then aggregating that information so that it's usable by the ERP. Everybody wins.
Right.
It's a win-win situation.